What's up, friends? My name is Sarah, and welcome to my Slow Sunday. In an effort to show my Slow Sunday activities while still feeling connected to each moment, I opted for a voiceover in this video. I feel like it also adds a certain kind of vibe that just works well for videos like this, but I don't know. Let me know if you like it, or if in the future I should stick to just walking y'all through what I'm doing in the moment. But I decided that today was going to be about giving myself permission to do all the things that bring me joy and increase my well-being. I'm sure I'm not the only one that struggles with this, but I find that all too often I'm denying myself the pleasure and ability of just sitting down and taking the time to engage in activities that fill my cup. That's either because I don't feel I have the time to do it, which in reality I almost always certainly do, or I don't feel I deserve to do it, which is another challenge entirely that I've been mentally grappling with recently and trying to figure out, why I put these mental restrictions on myself and so on. So you may be watching this video and thinking that you do all or most of these types of activities every single day, and this is just another day for you, and that's great. Or maybe you're like me and you find yourself holding yourself back from doing the things that make you you. So let this be a reminder for both of us that we are deserving of the things that make us most happy, and it's okay to take a pause, whether that be from the stressors of work or family or whatever it is, and relax in a meaningful way. And remember, it's up to you to decide what is meaningful. So my Slow Sunday will likely look different from yours, and that's okay. So, as you've been watching, I kick things off today by doing a full morning skincare routine after my shower. Truthfully, there's nothing happening here that's too different than what I would normally do every other morning in terms of the products that I'm using. The only observable difference that only I would ever notice is that I truly took the time to apply each product and mentally engage with the experience of applying the products to my face. I've said this before, but most days I unintentionally rush to do things like this, and it's like I'm causing my body to have visceral reactions twice a day for literally my skincare. It's really silly when you think about it, so I took my time. I also made the conscious choice to wash my hair today, which is another thing I've learned or noticed about myself recently. I already have a not so great habit of not taking the best care of my hair. I'm just not one of those girlies, maybe one day, but when my mental health starts to take a dip, I practically ignore my hair, which if you didn't notice, I have a lot of it, so it's hard to ignore, but I somehow do, and I'd rather not. So here we are, washing our hair on a slow Sunday. I feel like every year I have this unspoken or maybe spoken, I definitely talk about it in Playing With Me videos, but I have this goal for myself to read more. I never operationalize what more means exactly. I just know that I am never satisfied with the amount I'm reading in any particular week, month, or year. And I used to be such a book girly as a kid too. You couldn't give me the latest Pretty Little Liar or Click book fast enough. And I think just somewhere between high school and college, I really fell off, but my love for and desire to read has never really changed. This is definitely one of those activities that I've been subconsciously denying myself, I think. And I think something that has helped get me back into reading is reading books that take place in New York City, which is where I currently live and have lived for about 2.5 years now. Something else I've struggled with off and on since moving here is the idea that I'm not taking advantage of the city enough. And even though I know I have these thoughts, I can't always get myself to take action and actually try to make the most of my time here, because I don't know how long I'll be here for. So this may feel almost counterintuitive, but it's almost like in reading about this great city that I live in, I feel more motivated and even inclined to go out and explore it myself. I think it's the same reason why I enjoy YouTube so much. It's like I need to see or read about people doing the things that I want to do in order for it to feel special. I hate to say that, but that's the reality I live in right now. So all that to say, I'm currently reading a book that predominantly takes place in Brooklyn, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Although it's fiction, I feel like I'm learning a lot about what some areas were like well before I ever moved here. And of course, slow Sundays are the perfect time for biscuit making. Sundays can be slow and still have elements of productivity, so what many would probably consider to be chores like laundry and grocery shopping, for me have always felt more like self-care. There's a certain type of calm and satisfaction I feel knowing that on certain days each week I carve out time for cleaning and meal planning and grocery shopping. And if I've learned anything about myself in this video so far, it's that I need to apply the motivation I have for laundry and grocery shopping into my other self-care activities and hobbies. I suppose with things like this, I feel a large sense of control over the outcome, and outcome is immediately noticed or gained, which I suppose that is just the theoretical basis of habit formation, I perform a behavior that produces a reward, and when that reward is gained, I am motivated to do the behavior again, and so on and so forth. So going along with this scenario, I am more quickly gaining the rewards of doing laundry and grocery shopping, in other words, having clean clothes and access to good food, than the rewards of, say, being active or even reading to some extent. So just something for myself to keep in mind. Hobbies are a big part of self-care for me. Going back to some of the ideas I named at the start of this video, it's about taking the time to do something and not feeling guilty about it. Also right now, I'm trying to learn to let hobbies just be hobbies. When I find a new thing I enjoy, it's okay if I don't learn everything there is to know about it. I don't need to be an expert. I don't need to monetize it. So I think letting go of this idea that I need to be perfect at an activity that I'm simply choosing to do for fun has been really helpful. I personally don't subscribe to the idea of trying to be perfect at anything, though that's not to say I don't struggle with perfectionism from time to time, but if I am going to put a certain level of pressure on myself to be extremely good at something, that energy is way better spent on something for, work, or maybe something with a little more high stakes. Crocheting is low stakes. If I mess up, it doesn't impact anyone but me. I can start over, I can choose to start and stop with no implications. No one is expecting me to be the best at it, so I shouldn't hold those expectations over myself either. Right now, I'm working on this blanket using the waffle stitch, which I have since learned is quite the commitment, but I've been having fun with it, so that's all that matters. Similarly, I've always said that baking is my therapy. Making sourdough isn't something I aim to be perfect at, but I do see it as a fun personal challenge that I'm choosing to take, and I do have specific goals for getting better at it. So I suppose I would say this is a little more high stakes for me than crocheting, but at the same time, I choose to do it because I love it. I love it, I love to make it, I love learning about how to make it, and obviously I love to eat it. Sometimes it can feel like a chore in a way that I have a certain times carved out for feeding my starter and making the dough, since it's a multi-day process, but it's a chore in the sense that grocery shopping for me is a chore, if that makes sense. So I enjoy it and I look forward to it. It's time I know I have each week, sometimes maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, depending, things happen, to spend enjoyable time with myself. It's hard to believe because this is a rather short video, but it's already the end of the day and it's time to wind down again. Well, wind down more than I already have throughout this video, but anyway. My first step is to do a face mask before my nighttime skincare. Most of the time, I see face masks as something fun and different to do, without really expecting much impact. However, I've been using some Peach Slices products recently and I do feel like it may be helping. This obviously isn't an ad or some sort of formal recommendation. I'm just a girl struggling with acne, trying to find her way in the skincare world. So, for that reason, I have been trying to do this particular mask more regularly, but at the end of the day, even if it doesn't cause drastic changes for my skin, it's still a few moments at the end of the day I'm taking to focus on myself, detach from screens, detach from any lingering stress, and just take things slow. On this particular Sunday, I finished out the day with a little treat while enjoying some YouTube. It's a treat in every sense of the term because pints of ice cream are not cheap in New York City, so you bet I was savoring every single bite. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you at the next one.